The State of Confusion versus the Scam Club. Docket number 5725-23. All rise. Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
You may be seated. Mr. Prosecutor, you may proceed. Also, we know that some of these people would ever tell the truth. So they've all been given truth serum to make sure we get that truth.
The state calls Miss Dolly to the stand. Miss Dolly, can you please relay to the jury what you've observed with these scammers?
Wow, where do I begin? First of all, I find it absolutely atrocious that people would use their child as just a tool to get money while his care is neglected. They parade him in front of the camera with his obviously rehearsed spiel in order to get people to feel sorry for them and send them money and gift cards. There are so many more people out there who really do need help, yet people send money, gift cards, and other items to these scam artists.
And have you ever seen them show appreciation for the money and items that were sent?
No, I've seen just the opposite. I've seen their child open a present, then chuck it to the side, saying he doesn't want it. They've developed a totally entitled attitude and don't appreciate a damn thing. Rather, they now expect it. Then instead of being grateful, they act all smug and arrogant, even though they have absolutely nothing to be proud of. It's enough to make you want to throw up.
Please, no puking in the courtroom. My next question is, have you ever seen them attempt to get a job or do anything to help themselves in any way?
No. These people are shiftless, they are lazy, they are entitled, they are deceptive, and they do not deserve to get anything at all. They were offered jobs but turned them down. They have no desire to work or do anything to provide for themselves. They expect others to support them and keep using their child to maintain the flow of money and gifts. They are simply pathetic.
I see in my brief that a lot of the money that has come in was for the express purpose of building a home for their child. To your knowledge, has that yet occurred?
Absolutely not. People have been sending them money, but they are just like every other scammer that I've seen on YouTube. They beg money for a specific purpose, then turn around and spend the money on themselves rather than the stated objective. And people are stupid enough and gullible enough to believe them. They spend the money on alcohol, on play toys, and whatever else they find that they want. More than enough time has passed for them to have accomplished this, but they are no closer to the objective than they were when they started.
So what they are building now is not a home? What exactly are they building?
Well, they said they were building a cabin to live in until they got called out by viewers who pointed out that it would not meet the county codes in order for it to be a long-term residence. So they changed their story and are now saying it's just a treehouse. But that is not what people sent them the money to do. They already have an RV on the property to live in, so there's no need to build a treehouse. They are only doing it in order to make it look like they are actually doing something. It's all a scam just to keep the money rolling in.
Okay, that is all. You may step down. The state calls Mr. Jiffy Poo to the stand.
Mr. Prosecutor, you may proceed with the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jiffy Poo, is it not true that you are a liar, a scammer, and a petty little bitch?
Yeah, I am. I'm a liar, a scammer, a crazy ass, and a petty little bitch. Yeah, I'm just a worthless, lying, scamming, petty little bitch.
Mr. Jiffy Poo, do you recognize any scamming tactics used by these scumbags that you use when you scam people?
Yeah, I do. They're just like me, only worse. I don't use a child in order to get people's sympathy. I used a fake cat, but not a child. But I had to kill off my fake cat before I got totally exposed. But they use the same tactics. They play on people's sympathy. They're always acting like they're broke and need money even though they have a ton of money rolling in every month. They keep inventing new projects so people will keep donating, but they never finish anything. They just switch to something new in order to divert people's attention away from what the money was donated for. I see all of that.
So is it true that when you promised to come out with Kylie Rodney Part 2, that you had no new information and that it was just another scam tactic to gather more donations?
Yeah, I didn't have crap. But my sheep were stupid enough to believe me, so they kept sending me money. But people kept calling me out and exposing me. So finally, I tried to divert their attention to other things like this new website where I could do things that YouTube would have me banned for. I also created an account on Rumble to do the same thing, and people were stupid enough to keep following me and sending me money. But I think now people are seeing through all my lies and they realize that I'm nothing but a scammer.
So, is it true that you are now trying to get subscribers by lying about a famous person being your friend, when in reality that's complete hogwash and you're using the person's name just to get clicks?
Duh. My videos are all boring and pointless, so there's no way I'm gonna get subscribers just with my content. You see, scammers always have to have an angle. And now that's my new angle. Of course, I never did provide any new information about Kylie, and now people are saying that Kevin knew what he was talking about and was right about everything. I know he's right about these other scammers as well. All of us scammers are pretty much alike.
Okay, Mr. Jiffy Poo, you may step down.
Mr. Prosecutor, you may call your next scumbag, your next witness.
The prosecution calls Mr. Chrissypoo to the stand.
Okay, this one looks like a real winner. You may proceed with questioning.
Mr. Chrissypoo, is it true that you and the woman you're committing adultery with intentionally use your child in order to get people to feel sorry for you and send you money and other such gifts?
Of course. We are sovereign citizens, and we go by the Hillbilly Scammer Handbook. That tactic is right on the first page. I had to have Holly read it to me, though. We know we wouldn't get all the money and gifts if it was just us, so our son is our cash cow. We use him to get people's sympathy, and they're stupid enough to send us all that they do. That tactic has worked for over 5 years.
Is it true that you had no intention of building an actual home in which you could live year-round, but only made people think you would do so in order to keep the stream of money and gifts coming in?
Well, the fact that I got called out on what I was building and was told it would never meet code, and all of the things I was going to have to do in order for it to pass county inspection should tell you that. I got called out and was then forced to say I was just building a treehouse.
Can you please explain to the court why you need a treehouse when you already have an RV on the property?
We go by the same handbook that Jiffy Poo goes by. The handbook says to keep projects going and keep switching them in order to deceive the people sending you money. So once we had the RV, we were in danger of the money stopping because we no longer needed a cabin. People were calling us out and saying we didn't need money for a house, so I started cutting wood, and made it look like I was actually building us a house. We can't take the risk of my beer money stopping. I have to have my beer. And not only that, I buy really expensive beer that normal people can't afford. But I can afford it because there's a lot of stupid people out there who keep supplying for money for it.
So instead of spending the money on your son, instead of providing him a normal home, you and the woman committing adultery with you selfishly spend it on yourselves?
We've really been spoiled and have really become entitled and selfish. So of course, we're going to look to our own needs first. He's just a kid, so he doesn't know any better. And like I said, I have to have my beer. That's priority. My body needs the alcohol. So I have to keep inventing new projects and make it look like I'm actually doing something, even though it's just an act and all for show. But people are invested in us, so they stupidly keep sending us money.
Is it true that you are lazy and have no desire to work and said you would rather be homeless and live on the street rather than going to work?
Yes, I'm more lazy than a slug. I do not want to work. We are self-sufficient, so I don't have to work a 9-to-5 job. Well, I say that, but we are not self-sufficient. We're actually dependent on stupid people who keep allowing us to be worthless, good-for-nothing lazy asses who refuse to work like most of the other people in America. But as long as people are stupid enough to keep sending us money, we will continue to sit on our asses and not work. But there's no way I would just live on the street if the money stopped. I just said that to make people think I would do that and make people sorry for our kid. But there are people who see through the BS and have called us out on that.
Do you think you should take that self-sufficient statement out of your channel description, since you're obviously not self-sufficient, but depending on others to support your lazy asses?
Well, I'm not quite as smart as my cousin Jethro, so I'm self-deluded enough to actually believe we are self-sufficient. And we don't actually live at the property anyway. We just go there to make our videos and fool people into thinking we're actually homesteading. But you know, our supporters aren't too bright, or they'd see through all the BS just like most people do. But we have some really gullible people who keep supporting us no matter what we do. And as long as they keep sending us money, we'll keep putting on an act and just treat it as a camping trip. We've been amazed at how easy people are to fool. And it is easy if you've had years of experience and see what works. It's all in the Scammer Handbook.
Okay, we'll take a recess and then continue with the next witness in part 2. You may be adjourned.